What's up guys? In today's video, I'm gonna install a stock exhaust system on my 1982 Kawasaki KZ750H LTD. So let's get into it. Now, in last week's video where I put the chain on this thing, I had mentioned that this bike is a project bike. So when I got it, it was all in pieces and it didn't come with an exhaust, at least not a complete exhaust. It came with really just these header pipes that have been sawed off and like one muffler that had also been sawed off. And so I just decided like that was just too much custom work to be able to reuse that chopped up exhaust. So I just decided to buy just a used set of the stock exhaust, and that's what I'm gonna put on. Now for my initial test, I just pulled the exhaust right off my KZ750B. This is a 4-into-1 header, just going into like a little shorty muffler. And it mounted up and I was able to test the motor, get it running. Found out that the motor works pretty dang well, so I'm gonna continue on with getting this bike put together. The exhaust comes in two parts. There's a left side and a right side. I already have the right side kind of loosely mounted up, and now I'm on the left side. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I have my exhaust gaskets in here. These are really important to like seal the exhaust, and they just fit right inside, just right around the exhaust opening port there. They tend to like to fall out, and so if they're not staying in there, you can just take a little bit of grease, just a little tiny bit, and just put a little dab of it on the gasket, and it'll help hold it in place. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the flanges on, and these flanges, this divot, this ridge side, goes towards the engine. That's because these collars have this shoulder, and this shoulder will fit it'll fit right into that ridge just like that, and it'll push the headers right into the engine. Okay, so let's put the flanges on first. I'm gonna hold off putting those collars on. The collars can be pretty maddening because they fall off like all the time, so I'm just gonna hold off on those. Put those on like that, and then let's just put exhaust on. That clutch cable is poorly routed. I'll have to adjust that later. For now, I'm just gonna kind of loosely put the exhaust in. I have a 2x4 down here to just support the muffler for now. And I'm just gonna, really loose, just put one nut just to hold these flanges on. I'm gonna lift the exhaust, and that center crossover pipe, I'm just gonna get that aligned, and most likely, I'm gonna get the muffler put into the bracket. Just all really loose right now. Now the two sides of the exhaust, their crossover pipe is connected, but nothing is clamped down yet. I wanna keep everything loose. The key to installing an exhaust is to keep everything loose until you get the header pipes tight to the engine. Okay, because if you tighten up these brackets, then it might like tweak the exhaust and not allow it to adjust how it needs to get a really tight fit on the engine. So the way that I kind of do this, I keep one of these not tight, not even snug, just kind of tight enough that it holds the flange in place and kind of helps hold the exhaust in place. And then I'll start with this guy. Now the way to do this is to have the shoulders facing out so that they fit in that groove in the flange. And they do kind of make a full circle. So I'm just gonna make sure when I'm looking at it, when it's on, that the crease or the seam is flush with, no big gaps, nothing overlapping or being unaligned. This is really tricky. It's like really infuriating sometimes, especially if you're trying to do like more than one at the same time. Oh, it can just be like the worst. So you just kind of got to feel it out. You kind of got to shake stuff around, and might take a couple tries to get it just right and everything aligned. Just do that. And the goal here is to get enough threads from those mounting studs sticking out that we can get the mounting nuts on. Once you get a few threads to bite, just make sure you're not cross-threading, but you can start to kind of snug things up. You You want to go back, you want to alternate sides. Otherwise this thing gets crooked and then it won't work. So make sure you just kind of tighten up each side evenly. And you're just watching, making sure everything looks like everything's aligned properly. Make sure those collars haven't adjusted too much. Make sure that your gasket, exhaust gasket, hasn't fallen out or, you know, doing something weird. And that's pretty good. I'm not gonna go full tight just yet. Just wanna get it kind of snug. There's maybe like an 1/8 inch gap here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move to the next side or the next header. Cool. So I'll get these snugged up pretty tight. You don't want to go too crazy tight with these things just because those studs will like strip or pull out. But you want to be pretty dang snug. Also, once you get this thing running for a while and it gets hot and then you shut it off and you let it cool, you could then go through and just like double check all these tightnesses. You could just double check the tightness of all these because, you know, going through warm and then cool, it might adjust a little bit. So just double check it after you get up to like running temp. Okay, that feels pretty good. And I'm just gonna continue on getting this side tight. Once I have the headers securely attached to the cylinder head, then I can go ahead and tighten up all the other mounting brackets. And then I'll make sure to get any other clamps that need further tightening. All right guys, pipes are on the bike and I think it's looking really good. I think it's really looking the part now. Aside from a few more tweaks, this bike is almost ready to hit the road, which I'm really excited for. If you found this video helpful or informative or anything, please hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, see ya!